to sharpen a chisel. If you look closely at this, you can see that it's been ground on a grinder. Now a grinder is about an 80 grit stone and it will not leave a sharp edge. There are two sides to the chisel, the flat back and the angle there. The grind angle is 25 degrees. We need to sharpen it at an angle of about 30 degrees. The first thing we do when we sharpen is to back the chisel. We're looking at the flat side of the chisel and we need to get a perfectly flat back on it. To do this, we'll get a diamond stone. We're using the 400 grit side of the diamond stone. Put a small amount of water onto it and spread the water out. Taking the chisel, put the flat back down, pressure on the top of the chisel with fingers and a thumb, and just control the movement of the chisel side to side. What you do not want to do ever is lift the back of the chisel to get the edge. This causes a bevel at the front edge, which gives you a very blunt angle and stops you being able to pair with the chisel. So back to backing. Take the chisel across the stone. To start with quite heavy pressure. You'll see that the water coming off the stone turns grey in colour. That's metal being ground off the chisel. Check what you're doing. You'll see there that there is a polish on the chisel nearly all the way to the front edge. I'm just missing the corner there. So a little bit more backing. And now I've got one nice flat back on it with a polish all the way up the back. There's a little bit of a hollow spot in the chisel there, but the front edge is good. We're going to look at the angle of the chisel now to try and get a angle on the front edge sharpened. So we'll put the chisel on the stone, put your thumbs underneath the chisel, your fingers on the top, rock the chisel until you feel the front edge and then lift slightly to achieve a 30-degree sharpen. Use the whole of the stone in a figure of 8 motion. You should be able to see a little wave of water being pushed in front of the chisel as you go forward. Go across 5, 10, maybe 15 times in a figure of 8, and then we'll have a look at what we're doing. Notice I am keeping the chisel at one angle and trying not to rock the chisel. Now we're getting a line of light over the front edge of the chisel and it goes edge to edge. At this point we will have raised a wire on the front edge of the chisel, a very small piece of metal that if you just move it, you may be able to see it moving in the light there, I'm not sure, see on the quality of the video later on. That needs to be removed. To do this, go back to backing the chisel but very gently on the pressure. Turn it around and then gentle sharpening. So not too much pressure this time. I'm backing and sharpening. Eventually that wire will drop off. It's a bit like bending a piece of metal several times. You weaken it and eventually it falls off onto the stone. This is a better method than running the piece through a piece of hardwood because you'll be pushing the sharp edge through metal into the hardwood. Feeling the edge now. The wire's disappeared and we've got one line of light on the front of the chisel and a sharp chisel.